Namaskar. Myself, Kushwah Dinesh I am student of MSM 2 Part 1, and today I am going to discuss about the paper number 411 issues in world politics. The chapter number 1 is regarding the ideologies importance in world politics. There is a three section in a particular chapter: role, relevance, and the importance of the ideologies in world politics. Now, before going to discuss about its role and relevance, first of all, we have to understand what is regarding meaning of ideology and what is meaning of political ideology. First of thing, ideology is certain thing which means certain type of the belief, faith, values regarding a particular subject or the phenomena. So, the political ideology means a particular faith, belief, and values regarding particular political aspects of life. So, ideology plays a crucial role in the shaping of the interaction between the state and international frameworks. It provides framework for the understanding the world, determining the political actions, setting the foreign policies. Its international politics, ideology refers a set of beliefs, values, and the principles that guide a nation's external relations and as diplomatic engagement. So, the political ideologies are very different in the world politics. So different political ideologies plays different role in world politics. First of all, we are going to discuss the major international ideologies which have been considered. First is liberalism or the capitalism. Liberalism is the political ideology and capitalism is the economic aspects of the liberalism. So, wherever consider the liberalism means there is a freedom from the certain type of the restrictions, but this is only regarding the political access and equal rule of law has to be maintained for the ensurement of the equal opportunity to all certain type of the freedom. So, in liberalism, the people have faith, all are equal. So, at the international level, we also consider all states as the equal in whatever their the population strength, whatever their geographical conditions, but their sovereignty, their certain identity must be considered as an equal footage. So this there the dignity of nation considered the equal and rule of law must be followed by each and every state in the international organizations or the international arena. So, wherever a country considers liberalism its a core ideology of a political ideology, it always refers certain type of engagement with the other countries. On the same ground, they are considered all states as equal and take an engagement with the equal footage. There is no certain type of the dominance or the hegemonic conditions. For example, UK and France. The both are the powerful country and they have the historical colonial era and historical colonial history also background of both sides. So they are the equal in the manner and they are believing both are equal and engaging on the liberal thoughts and they are also engaging in trade and other engagements on the capitalism ideology basis. So, if a country considers the liberalism or the capitalism is a core political ideology, their aspects of the engagement will be followed by the same ideology. Rather, whatever their political issues, but it is a benefit for the country in the liberal manner and benefiting its capital engagement or the economy. It will be followed by that country for the beneficial of certain engagements. Now, second thing is the communism. Communism part of the Marxism ideology because Marxism is believing that in hypothetical situations when capitalism will reach its the top position and will certain type proletariat revolution take place and communist society will establish, then state will wither away. But here no one state reach this stages or this type of the phenomena. There is a several type of the different type of the communism has been adopted by the different countries. For example, Russia. Russia adopted communism in the form of a proletariat class have to dictate and control each and every societal norms and government organizations to confirm the communist society establishment. They have removed the phenomena of the Marxism, that was the state will wither away. But Russian Lenin communism has been adopted, or the Lenin Marxism adopted by the Russia. That's saying that the Russia should adopt certain communism in which revolution will take place, but different type of revolution. Now the new intellectual class will come out and will rule that the state and control the state organization. All production and distribution mechanism of the state will be controlled by that particular proletariat class. So it will beneficial to the lower section of the society and will easily accessible for the snatching property from the top class capitalists and so on. So this type of the communist society also want to same certain type of the phenomena changes in other communist societies. So we can say if a communist society having this type of the communism and nearby or the far away another country is ongoing certain type of the changes, that communist society will absolutely will help that also communist society. For example, Russia helped in China to establishing communist society. The civil war has been going on throughout the 1929 to 1949. China demanded certain type of bureaucrats to adopt communism in that country. Cuba also adopted communism. So whenever the communism start in one nation, it will spread out nearby nations and another also. We have seen Russia has been revolution, but later it will reach the throughout the USSR all 15 nations also, and it resulted spread of communism. And after that spread of communism, capitalism and communism become the rival of the ideological in at the global stage. This was very brutal resulted in the Cold War era, because during Cold War no two countries are fighting for their encroachment or the illegal expansion, but they are the ideological expansion on the basis of. So we cannot neglect the ideology at the international level, can be very minimized, but they have a real significance in the history. But after 1991, the ideology has been reduced a certain level because industrialization has been increased. Capitalism have successfully proved that capitalism is the best form of the government for the upliftment each and every class of the society. That's why Russia also converted from the communism to the capitalist society. China already changed from the 1971 ongoing economical changes. This type of the two major ideologies which are engaging in the world politics. Then further the new ideologies also come in the manner of the international engagement. That's are called the realism, neo-realism, and liberal thoughts and neoliberalism. So first of all we should consider the realism. As per the Morgan who has given that certain statement regarding the realism. Realism means a state must be concerned its own national interest, and there is no any another aspect of the nation to take any engagement with another nations. Expect only and only international interest, because as human is self-interest oriented and the state form between the group of the humans. So the whole group of the human must be a self-interested group, and whatever decision taken by that nation must be a self-interest oriented. Now this was the realism. Then further Kenneth Waltz come and say about the realism aspect is right, but whatever is showing about the human nature is selfish and brutish as per the Hobbes state of nature. But it's not true, because human is also kindness, or there is another ethical aspects of the human values also is in human nature, and state also have. State must take a self-oriented decisions, because there is a reason. There is no any international organization or the government who will guarantee or the ensuring about the security, safety, and welfareism. So if we want to survive in international arena, if we want to protect ourselves, we have to take certain self-interest oriented decisions. So that the new structure of the realism is given by Kenneth Waltz. Farid Zakaria also come and he given new thought of the new realism. In new realism, the certain change is only one. Structure is anarchy. There is a no international government. This is the fine. Second statement, state taking decision self-interested. This is also fine. But whatever decision taken by a state at the international level, it must be guided by personal faith, beliefs, orientation regarding the state head or the government head. Because we have seen several international heads have taken certain different type of the decisions which the followed by state leader or descendant have not been taken. So, for example, however the USSR decentralized in 15 sovereign countries and formation of the Russia. This was a certain type of the decision taken by Djokovic, which was very different because his personal belief that whatever Russian condition is today at that time, due to the certain type of the unnecessary engagement with the proliferation of communism. If we start this type of the proliferation, our treasury will eventually will be empty. So we have to take certain economic reforms, economic decisions. So our structure or government can be sustained on that manner. Our necessary steps should be taken for the upliftment of our citizens. Why we concern about neighbors and others, though they are not helping in our development? This is the main concern of Djokovic. And then after another very latest example of the Donald Trump. Donald Trump taking each and every decision regarding own national interest, own American interest. The famous statement given by the Ronald Reagan, former voters, president of the US, make America first, and the new version of this America first is the Make America Great Again. This is also certain type of the taking decisions and policies, tariff barriers, and imposing another countries is based on the self-regarding interest of the nation, and there is a no structure of the international government which will ensure that particular nation. So he must take certain type of decision for the protection of self-interest first. So this is the second thing. Now the communism and socialism. We have seen thus the two extreme level of the capitalism and two extreme level of the communism. But there is a middle way that called socialism. Capitalism class also bringing social policies which is helping to particular vulnerable classes in the society wherever they are exist in national boundaries, international boundaries regarding concerning about the human rights, minority rights, cultural rights, societal rights. These type of the rights are raised by the developed and underdeveloping countries on the international phenomena for the sake of the socialism, because the main goal of the human is a good and secure and happy life. So, for the good, secure, and happy life, we must make a society as much as good. So, another person don't need to encroach our land, don't need to encroach our resources, don't need to attack on our wealth. If each and every happy and good can enjoy good life, why they want certain unnecessary type of the attacks, wars, and so on? So this type of the middle path of the extreme communism and extreme capitalism, that what we say socialism. India adopted the democratic socialism. We can see its role and relevance in India's foreign policy and international engagement. Though we have the not good relation with the Turkey, but when in last 2 years Turkey has faced a severe earthquake and approx 3,000 people have been died in that incident. So at the international level, this country never supported India. But on the humanitarian ground, on the socialism aspect of our political ideology, have been forced us to help them on the humanitarian ground. We have helped them. We have them in food grains and health infrastructure and healthcare facility also given to them. Then Afghanistan region has been collapsed in 2021, 15th August. The state is totally cut out from all engagement of international because no one has been declared as a sovereign nation because Taliban has been totally changed the structure of the nation and even its name also been changed. It now is the Emirates of Afghanistan. Afghanistan is renamed and so there is no international identity of Afghanistan, but we have politically engaged with them on the basis of socialism because we want a certain society when people not die due to hunger, when people not brought their upliftment without education, not proper healthcare. So we are fulfilling that certain type of big gaps. That certain type of we are providing facilities to certain countries on the basis of we are driven by the certain type of the socialism and our ethical value or the we can say our Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and certain type of the Bharatiya ethical values also driven certain type of the example of foreign actions. Now, fascism we are going to consider the new another ideological aspect and international politics. Fascism is a meaning that state controlled by a certain oligarchy group and the whole state has been controlled by authoritarianism and there is a one and only that aspect the nation first and they are merged with nation and government as a same. They are not treating state and government separately. They are treating state is equal to government and the head of the government is more than the state. So this type of the Nazi Germany's expansionist policies leading to the World War II. Because if one nation recognize themselves, they are the sufficient. This is a good thing. But a nation is saying we are the one thing, we are the one country which can dominate whole the world. We are only sufficient to rule the world. This is the wrong thing. Because this sentence also brings certain type of the expansionist approach, certain type of the hegemonic approach. So this type of the hegemonic approach will absolutely result in the war. Germany was the reason of the two world wars, and I hope that no one country will be the cause of the third world country due to the fascism. Because world war is want to peaceful establishment each and everywhere, but fascism also a certain type of the ideology which never want peace. Because the core ideology of fascism is the war for the male and what about not war for the female. They are the aspect of the war for always necessary for the bringing prosperity of the nation. If we take war, we will get wealth and we will help that wealth for our development. But what about that? Encouragement of that particular land, we have collapsed certain type of the wealth, industrial area and human society. If there is no human society sustained on another land, how can you bring happiness? Because that particular vulnerable class today is not capable, but in future it will be capable. So what it will be do? It will definitely take rivalry actions and the war cycle is ongoing then and then. So these are the main ideologies of the politics which are engaging in world politics. Now we are going to the role of ideology. First is the guiding foreign policy. Nations align their foreign policies based on the ideological principles. For instance, the US promotes the democracy and free markets globally, while China follows the state-controlled economic models with a centralized political authority. Countries with the similar ideologies often cooperate, such as the EU nations promoting the liberal democracy and human rights. Second thing is the formation of alliances and conflicts. Ideology influences the formation of the global alliances. For example, NATO was created as a military alliance as a capitalist democracies against the communist Soviet Union. The Cold War was fundamentally an ideological struggle between the US-led capitalist society and USSR-led communist societies bloc. In a modern era, ideological conflict exists in the form of the democrat versus authoritarian governments, models like the US versus the China geopolitical rivalry. Third is the influence on the global institutions, because at the global institutions, the decision taken by the majority of votes. If there is a majority of authoritarian government, the decision should be taken as the favor by the authoritarian or the communist governments. And if the majority of the states are driven by the democracy and liberal thoughts, the decisions must be taken in the favor of the democratic government. So, international level, countries are always busy in making alliances and groups to form political pressure or the political associations to bring a political decision at the UN level. Impact on the diplomacy and treaties. Countries negotiate treaties and agreements based on the ideological preferences. Arm control treaties and reflect ideological concerns over the global security and power balance. Soft power and cultural influences also mentioned as per the ideological. Now the relevance is I want to conclude with the short form. Post-Cold War scenario has ideological loss importance because after the Cold War there is no certain type of the separate ideologies. All ideologies being allied with each other and state take decision as per their interest rather than as per their the ideological things. Second, rise of populism and nationalism. After Cold War, we have seen several countries are bring their own development rather than collective development. So nationalism and rise of populism also started, and we have seen Russia has seen just the 3 or 4 leaders from 1991 to till today. India has also approached majority after the 3 decade. We have seen 3 to 4 major leaders, and other countries also have seen the certain type of the populism. If a national leader is populist, then it will elect again and again. There is no certain type of change we can see. Then democracy versus authoritarian debate is ongoing right now. Impact on the technology, impact of the technology and the media. We have seen the world become a digital world, and as a digital world become a global village. We can easily connect from here to USA, Canada, Japan, China, Kuwait, each and every nation within a second. So ideological impact also destroyed. People become very familiar to each and every person. So the decision taken by the nations, also all the aspect technological development, because certain type of the technology require another country. This is the right of the ideology, but it will restrict their ideological differences. So society must be correlated to each other. So without any ideological differences, we can adopt technology easily for the upliftment of nation. So these are the main themes of the chapter number 1, 411 issues and world politics. And so I am concluding this. Thank you.